This conference will now be recorded.
Must be good. We should be good.
Take a close look at what we got here. So we're on?
Yes, we should be.
Okay. So it's Monday, March 10th at 7:02 p.m. This meeting of the Conservation Commission is now open. First up, we have notice of intent. DP 104-1120, 23 Metacomet Street, Henry Clement. Construction for a single-family home. You're up.
Thank you guys. Here for 23 Metacomet Street. I'm Steve Ruby for the record. Wetland scientist Henry Clement, the builder, is here as well. This is 23 Metacomet Street. I kind of just blew up the part of the plan that show where the house is. It's a much bigger lot, and I have it underneath here, but it's the scale of that plan at the meeting is you can barely see the house. So I just blew up the end here so you can see the construction zone. So we have Metacomet Lake down here, flag the bank, very straightforward, essentially lawn that drops down to the edge of the lake. Mostly landscaped lawn up in here, existing home, which you can kind of see underneath the orange. That's the existing house that's there now. There's a lake house right there. There's a detached garage back here. There's some other landscape features like a carporty thing, and a manhole out here for the septic system. It's all essentially landscape lawn with a couple dotted trees around on the site. The proposed project is to demolish the existing lake house, build a new lake house, essentially in this part of the same footprint, expanding it backwards away from the buffer zone. The purple line here is the 100-foot buffer. So some of the house will extend outside, demolish the detached garage. There'll now be an attached garage to the house. Right now, we're proposing to have the roof runoff go into some dry wells on site. Right now, the roof runoff just goes across the lawn. So that'll get infiltrated in the ground. Erosion control here, just to prevent anything from migrating down towards the lake during construction. We do have one tree that needs to come out. It's really show up much on this plan, but in the NOI, I've got some photos of it. There's a large hemlock tree, like literally growing right next to the foundation, right around in here. That would have to come out for the house construction. And that's essentially it. Silt fence, demolish the existing house, reuse, essentially the same footprint of foundation and expand it more backwards. There's a deck off the front, right, Henry? That's the deck. This part here is deck, not actual structure. That's pretty much it. There's no real no grading on site or anything like that. There's grades and not really moving any earth around, other than what they need to dig out for the foundation, but that could be stored outside the buffer zone, not have excessive fill material in the buffer during construction. And we're going to propose a little bit of replanting down here by the bank. So just some native shrubs that would go down to kind of a low spot down here, which I think they do good. Some blueberries, some winter berries, kind of improve some habitat value in the buffer zone by the lake. That's essentially it. I think it's a pretty straightforward project. So thank you guys for comments and questions. Henry's here.
Yeah, you can see that once you get to the back side of the house, the grade starts to climb pretty steeply there in the back. We're trying to stay out of that hillside as much as possible so we don't disturb the existing grade there for the driveway and so forth. Take my meaning. So we're trying to stay on the level section as much as we can and not push into that hill and start to disturb all of the vegetation and stuff up in there.
There's lots of trees up in here. I mean, this doesn't show the tree line, but there's a lot more treed areas up in here, and the driveway that comes in pretty much just goes through pine forest on the way into the lot.
So what's your offset from the wetland line?
27 feet for the deck.
From the deck, 27. What is it currently?
You know what it is off the top of your head without scale? This is 27. Looks like around 27 because this is foundation right there. That's the line.
Well, what's that light gray dashed line?
Underneath the lake gray is the existing house. Foundation that's there now.
Yeah,
So-
I'm also puzzled by the lines that are in this drawing, Ed.
Because it would seem to show that the existing house is further back than what you're proposing.
This has got, this dotted line here is this is deck. So maybe this is like 2 feet
Yeah,
or
well, what's the
something.
dashed line yeah, what's that dashed line there?
Henry, do you know what this is off the top of your
It's
head?
a porch.
It's an
That's a
outside
covered-
porch.
Covered porch.
So this part here is, so from here down is porch, and this line back here is house. And this gray line here is existing house, correct?
Yep.
The light gray underneath.
So the part that sticks out at the bottom is the deck on sonotubes. So this bit here is, this is all, it's just, that was on the side.
Yeah, the L
It's
shape.
exterior porch, but with a roof over it.
Okay, so where's the foundation?
Foundation is.
Gray line right here.
so
Yeah,
this
that's
is
the
on
existing
sonotubes.
foundation. I mean, the you're going to install.
This,
The dark gray line, right?
correct.
So that dark line there is the foundation.
The proposed foundation.
Yep.
What I'm showing.
So your alternatives analysis didn't sell me.
Like,
So-
the house farther back.
In 25 years, I think I can count on maybe 2, maybe 3 times we've let people inside the 25.
Yeah,
Even though the house is existing within the 25.
If you want to build on the existing foundation, that's one thing. But to put in a new foundation, absolutely not.
Quick question for you. So are you showing that the new foundation is farther away from the wetland than the existing foundation?
Correct.
I just wanted that clarification. And so that's by how many feet, do you know?
This one's not to scale because I blew it up, but if this is 25-ish feet, I'd say about 10 feet. Is that about right?
Okay, so the new foundation is 10 feet farther away from the
back than
wetland
what's proposed now.
than the existing. Okay. I just want to make sure we're all clear on that.
and the existing foundation is 7 feet from the, what, the top of the bank? or-
Yeah, at its closest point, it's not like a straight line. It's kind of a weird angled thing. But at its closest point, it's 27 feet from the bank.
Yeah, what I found troubling was it was hard to read the drawing as far as what is going where and where the existing home is now. But it would seem to me, again, from just looking at the drawing and trying to make some rough guesses, estimates, it looked to me as though there was a total increase in footprint within the 50-foot.
Yeah, I think there would be because that's the house ends here and then the garage is.
Yeah, I understand that the
Yeah.
regs only say that they have to put 100, but a 50-foot would have been very useful here. Whatever. Again, it was very hard for me to see where the house foundation lines are, and how much additional increase in the footprint within at least the 50-foot. Now, I don't know about the 25. And as far as alternatives analysis, was there an alternatives analysis?
Yeah, put some,
There was a very rudimentary one.
we could put stuff farther back, but you're gonna have to do more grading and more trees will come out. Granted, they'll be outside the buffer zone, but there'll be a lot more land disturbance to shift that.
Well, I think at the very least, if you are aiming for a new foundation, you're going to push this back just as far as you can.
I can't disagree with him.
I just want to
I mean,
read the word, this is the first time.
There is a limit. I can see that there's a sewer easement. I assume that you can't build on the easement. Is that correct?
I would
Well, there'll be
say
a
so.
grading back.
Yeah, I would think that's as far back as you're going to get. And it looks to me as though that's roughly where your topography begins to increase anyway. So
what the
that's,
what the edge is.
I understand that you have some limitations here. You also probably have setbacks from property lines, et cetera, et cetera.
That's correct. Maybe, so just to clarify now, the full foundation is not that complete orange structure there, right? We're clear on that. So that,
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
have,
but-
again, it would have been very
Sawtooth,
useful to
Toronto.
see what the foundation is going to be on the drawings. And again, it would be useful if you could take a magic marker even and show us on the diagram exactly where your foundation is going to be relative to the existing foundation.
Can you trace that out now?
I am doing it right now. This,
Okay.
tell me if I'm going wrong, Henry.
no, you got it.
That's foundation.
Yeah,
This is foundation.
yeah. And
This is
then,
foundation.
yeah, and then,
Back here is already, is it all foundation? or-
Yes.
Okay. So here,
Well,
in this thing.
we're
that
more
was also
concerned with the
a
stuff
slide.
closest to the lake.
yep, sure. And then the existing foundation is where?
We did endeavor to try to get it back from the existing as much as we could.
And were you going to leave the existing foundation there?
That's coming out.
No,
So the
the
existing,
existing foundation is
leave it.
block and pretty compromised.
Well, there's no way, even at 27 feet, there's no way you're going to remove that without getting inside the 25. No way.
So, meaning the existing,
What's that?
meaning the existing?
Yes.
25 is probably approximately here.
Yeah, they're outside the 25, Ed.
Yeah, but at 27, they're going to have to work inside the 25 to remove it.
Okay, yeah.
Is that just for clarity, could you explain why? I mean, I get it, big machines, they take space, all that, but if they're coming at this from the north, why is that the case that they're going to be in the 25 to remove it?
Because I can't see them not getting inside the 25. They've only got what? 18, 20, in theory, 24 inches. You know that's going to get disturbed as they're,
Yeah, there's no way to fit equipment in there when you only have a couple of feet.
It doesn't matter that the 25 now is all lawn and it will be lawn after.
does not matter. Like I said, in 25 years, I think twice, we've let people inside the 25. It doesn't happen. And there were circumstances that were so far, it just absolutely no way to avoid it. I mean, let's face it, to avoid it, I mean, you could even put the house up here. So, I mean, you've got choices.
That's ultimately Henry's call. He's the one that-
I understand. But I mean, that's what I said. The alternatives analysis here to work inside the 50 was not really, you didn't sell me as to the absolute need to work inside the 50.
And as
I
far
was-
as what, Ed?
Well,
What, the
so-
redesigning the house to
Well, as I said, the first thing I said was they got to push it back just as far as they possibly can.
stay out of what, the 50, the 100? I mean,
Well, I mean,
If we push it back to here, which is the easement,
yep.
that's still, this front part's still not going to be outside the 50.
Well, but we're getting it, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, we could move it probably, I mean, I've talked to Henry outside, but.
And my thought, what I was under the understanding of, and again, maybe I'm reading the plan wrong. I agree with Steve that the plan is somewhat hard to read, was that at least for the existing structure, that that portion of the house is going to be rebuilt on that foundation.
Yes, yeah.
So what I'm seeing elsewhere is just proposed porch.
Yeah, this area, everything I drew down here is porch.
That's all porch.
It's not onto.
And it's not covered.
It's going to be, you'd say it's going to be.
Partially.
covered?
Some of it's covered.
Some of it's
Yeah,
covered.
the farthest portion down on the bottom is uncovered. The L-shaped piece is covered.
over here.
Yep.
So the sonotubes would actually be closer to the lake than the existing foundation.
Yes. Yes, would have to be.
It would have to be, which means you are, if the existing corner is at 27 feet, it means your porch is more than likely inside the 25. That isn't happening.
Yeah, we can't
That's not going to happen.
any more expansion closer to the lake than what the existing footprint is. I was under the impression that that the existing structure was going to be rebuilt on the existing footprint and the expansion was only going to be away from the lake. I wasn't aware that there was going to be a proposed porch encroaching within 10.4 feet of the lake. So, existing work is,
No, that's 10 feet to the property line. This line here, I think, is the property.
Well,
line.
normally property lines are the mean high water mark.
No, the mean high water mark's down here with the flag car.
So that'd be what, 25? Just looking at this, it's, I'm eyeballing, it looks like more like 25. 25 feet from the edge of the, porch to the
Water.
mean high water mark?
27.
Yeah, so the supports for the porch, the
So yeah,
uncovered
they
porch
put-
are
I
going
don't
to
know
be
how far
within
back
the
they can go
25.
from the edge, but
Either,
probably be-
either right on or
Yeah.
inside the 25. I mean, how do we define our line of jurisdiction? Is it at the mean water line or is it where the flagging is shown on the
Flag
map?
is the mean high water line.
I would say it's from the flagging.
So it's a,
So
yeah,
I'd say
that's
at
what I
the
assumed.
closest limit, it's, well, no, from the farthest limit, it's 30 feet. The close, no, that actually, no, that's maybe 25 feet from the edge. Wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong line, sorry. I'd say the new deck. Yeah, no, I'd say that's 25 feet. That's 35 feet, actually. That's 25 feet.
Kind of, what's the construction on the existing foundation?
Cinder block.
Well, they might could remove it by hand. Yeah. Cinder block. Get in there with a sledgehammer and you can bust it out by hand and remove it by hand. You can do that.
I mean, I think the overall concern is that even though there is the overall concern is that the proposed structure is going to in fact be closer to the resource area than the existing structure.
Counting the deck as structure as opposed to.
Yeah.
structure
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
foundation.
and under local bylaw, we have a 25-foot no disturb zone and a 50-foot no build zone. So, like, we don't even necessarily allow decks within 50 feet of resource area, especially if it's new. This new construction is not grandfathered out.
So according to that, then even if we were inside the 50 at all, which is approximately here, we did not.
Well, I
You're
mean,
running that risk.
You're running that risk,
That's
yeah.
why if there's
I mean, could we make the argument that they could get as much existing square footage inside the 50 as exists right now?
Yes. The existing square footage within the 50 can totally ride. Again, I was under the impression, and granted, I had met with Henry 8 months ago, maybe. I was under the impression that the existing structure was going to be raised, rebuilt on the same footprint of the foundation, and the only expansion was going to be away from the lake.
Yeah.
I was not aware that there was associated porch. Also, porches aren't even an accessory structure. It's not even like a shed that where you're converting lawn to a shed within the buffer zone. That's not an accessory structure. That's a house structure. So that doesn't even fit the bill for the minor exempt activity. Under our local bylaw.
So what would we have to do to this to make it palatable? Let me just ask that, so we don't have to come back 20 times with.
Well,
surveys
I think
being run
it's
back
pretty
and
clear.
forth.
You can't build within 25 feet.
So no,
Nothing,
No activity at all.
no activity at all. There can't be
So the
construction
silt fence-
activity. There
the
can't
silt
be.
fence here would have to be at the 25 at a minimum.
Yep.
Which is-
The silt fence should be on the 25.
Yeah, that would be like 5 feet back from where it is now.
So that's A, okay? Nothing within the 25. B is, yes, you can build within the 50, but only the amount of square footage that exists between, in the existing structure within the 50. Is that clear?
Yeah, so well, some of it might actually be inside the 50 now. Like the 50 is probably here. So
Yeah, a lot of it
So
is-
the amount of square footage you have inside the 50 is what you're going to get,
50 to, yeah, so whatever.
is what you're going to get.
So I did a very, very rough. No, I'm sorry, I didn't do it. I thought I did that, but I didn't.
The surveyors can count the stuff on the plan.
Yeah, and look, there's going to be some plus or minus here. We're not going to get down to the,
Yeah.
single digit square feet here, but, what you have within the 50-foot buffer, you can build within that footprint. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then between the 50 and the 100, okay, what do we got to hold to?
He's got a lot more latitude.
Yeah,
And in fact, if he wants to have a bigger structure, he needs to either be going up or pushing away from the water.
So the part that's larger, farther back.
Yes.
that's what we're pointing it towards. I mean,
And we absolutely don't want you any closer to the water than the existing structure. So if you're putting a porch on the front, your porch is going to be in line with the existing foundation. And you're working backwards from there.
Yeah, so at a minimum, this would have to go back 2 feet, because that's about probably 2 or 3 feet, I think, in front of the foundation porch. Here for input, so if it's not permittable as this, then, we have to go back to the drawing board, we'll talk about it. But getting the parameters from you guys of what you would approve is important.
Certainly.
I think you can build a house there. I think there is a house there. You can build a house there. It's just, there are, regulations, both state and, you understand that there are both state and town regulations.
And we're just asking for permission, that's right.
Yep.
It's under your
Yep.
purview to approve it or
And you,
not. so.
and obviously the owner is grandfathered into the structure that exists there now. We're just saying no more.
Yeah.
Any closer.
Okay, that's understood.
Anything else you want to add?
No, there isn't. We'll take the necessary steps, get it back where you all want it. And then we'll review what we end up running into for complications on the west side of the
Got
road
it.
there, you know.
Got it?
I,
And if you do, if you run into complications, then that's what Ed is referring to as far as why various designs are limited by X, Y, and Z. Okay?
no, I
We have to have that in writing.
when we originally sort of conceived of where we're putting it, right, and the length of it, sort of that kind of morphed according to the owner's needs, right?
Yep.
I started to, as I mentioned earlier, I started to look at the grade height coming up out of that. So the house sits on a relatively level section right there, right? And once we start to push it farther back there, and we have to think about, we're going to start to disturb that hillside. That's the one thing I was trying to avoid while we were doing this. It's nicely tapered down there now. When we start to have a garage door there, and then a driveway with a turnaround, now we're going to push back into that grade height that's going up there. And we're going to disturb a lot more area there, and probably have to get involved in a retaining wall of some
Well,
sort.
that's a sewer easement too. I mean, you're going to probably be limited at what you can grade.
No
depending
question
on how
about
far
that.
out the sewer is.
Yeah, there's a sewer and I think there's an electrical easement through there too, right?
Yep.
So that
Well,
was,
I don't know what the limitations are as far as, sewer easement. Maybe they allow you to pave across it. Maybe they don't. Maybe it has to be gravel. I don't know. This is all.
I don't think pavement's an issue. I think a foundation would be.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
the driveway coming in, it's pretty, as you guys know already, it's pretty gravel. So I don't think paving it is going to be something they're going to be interested
Okay.
in.
Then you're gonna have a runoff issue. You're gonna have a big runoff issue if you pave there, because you
Oh,
got
yeah,
that
sure.
hill there, and then you got this, and then you
Yeah,
got,
the way the driveway. comes
See,
down
right.
and stuff.
right in all the garage.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Based on this plan, the existing garage to be raised, literally abuts the lake side, because I don't have the southern side of the sewer easement. So by scotching the house back a bit, I mean, that area is already has a garage on it. And it already touches the sewer easement at the northwest side. So,
No,
I
think
mean, that's
shifting
an
the house up to
area.
that, like shift this line so it's up to here. I think that probably could be done with minimal effort on the surveyor to take the shape and move it up.
Yeah, that's my first thought.
But is that gonna be enough? Because I think that's easy to do. but-
Well,
I think
enough.
that may be.
Get you enough of the house out of the 50. So that whatever is left in the 50 doesn't exceed the existing home that's there.
Yeah, I mean, based on what's here, based on the existing closest limit of the existing garage to the limits of the sewer foundation, we're looking at about 15 feet. Granted, it's not straight, it's skewed. On the southern side, you're looking at about 20 feet. So there's a bit of latitude there to scotch the disturbance up and maybe relocate a porch, or shift the dimensions of the porch or location again. So I think that, again, seeing as how that's an existing structure, it may not take much extra earth removal or grading or anything like that. That's just my thought, but that's just me taking measurements on a plan.
No, in the survey, I'll run the numbers on it.
You say there's an existing septic tank on there?
Do you know what this is for? I know you had Mike look at it. There's like a manhole
It's a
here.
sewer pump.
Pump, okay, so there's no tank or leach field.
There's none of that.
Okay,
I mean, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there may be an abandoned thing there. That I can't speak to that, but there's nothing that's.
so you might find it.
But
You might have a
we're certainly gonna
contingency in case you find one.
It's
How are
not,
you gonna deal with it?
it's not that complicated.
Well, no, but it's still more disturbance inside the 50, more than likely.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it'll be outside the 50. I think if it's anywhere, it would be between the garage and the back of the existing house, towards up a little bit farther back in the hill. That would be my guess, but I don't think there's one there. Paul Lucimer's probably gonna do the work on this project, and he will probably know.
Aren't most of the lakes serviced by town sewer?
They are, but
But
that
you're not
sewer,
discounting any, like,
it may
septic
still be
tank
there.
that
It still
was
will, may,
pumped and crushed. Okay. I
it
understand
may
what you're
still
saying.
be there.
Yep.
So all of that went in, both the water and the sewer was all installed in the early 90s. And while we did just about a filing on every single house for the hookups, I don't remember that many systems were removed at that time from that same process. So I'm thinking it may still be there.
That be Board of Health records or something?
I do not know.
One would think.
One would hope.
And then a sewer expansion project would be probably what, DPW? Maybe.
So all
Probably about
the
20
water
years.
mains and sewer mains went in like 90, 91, 92. I would say 91, 92, 90, no, it was 91 or 92. I can narrow it that close.
It actually went through because I know 25 years ago. So, we had to pay for 25 years for that access. It just finished this past year.
Well, I mean, okay, but I mean, I was down there on a daily basis. I know it didn't happen in 93.
Yeah.
And I know it didn't happen in 90.
Right, you're probably right. It happened after, but it's within that window.
Yes.
That's something.
So yeah, I think the overall goal of the commission is just to ensure that there's no new encroachment any closer than the existing extents of development with respect to the bank of the lake.
We're thinking caps on and come back.
We'll figure it out.
Good luck.
Thanks for your input.
How long do you
Yep.
think?
We'll make sure we're in good shape when we come back.
Okay, great. Yeah.
That'll be great.
How long do you think it would take? So your next meeting's in 2 weeks?
Yeah, the next meeting is on March 24th, 2 weeks from today.
Well, I need stuff a little ahead of that. I don't know how long it'll take.
Yeah, I need it at least before the Thursday before that, so that really only gives a week and a half.
Push it till the April meeting and just see where we're at. I don't know how long it'll take Mike to draw stuff up again.
I'll talk to Nicole, see what happens. I mean, it's the,
7th.
I'd like to get them
No,
next
the
week.
14th.
We can ask for the next one, and if we can't make it, we
That's
just.
what I think we should do.
Yeah, April 14th would be our next meeting after, March 24th. So,
Yep, I'll talk to him tomorrow and do the calculations in the square footage, comparable square footage amounts. And take a look at that grade height in the back again. And yeah, we'll get back to you.
So if it should turn out that you're actually behind the existing foundation,
It would be, I think even just shifting it.
it might be just as simple, just knocking off 2 or 3 blocks off the top and putting some topsoil over the top, leaving the rest in the ground.
Yeah, still all back in.
Yeah. You probably just knock off enough just to get under the grade.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it simple here for you.
That's good, yeah, that's probably what he would do. Yeah, that makes sense. Less disturbance to do it that way too.
Yep.
wait, so, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of May. Yeah, no, so 4/14 would be our next meeting. I got all confused. I feel like we have somebody who's wanting to speak. Let's see if we can.
So does the commission have any more questions or concerns? Do you have any more questions or concerns?
No.
Is there somebody in the audience that would like to, I can't read it. Is there a name on there?
Adam Short. No question.
It's just creepy.
I know.
Type
Okay,
something.
I didn't
no
realize
questions.
there was
Okay.
anybody,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
cool.
when he said
All
that,
righty then.
It's like he's looking at behind the
So-
curtain, you know.
So we have an official continuance request to April 14th at 7 PM.
Sounds like a date. Thank you.
Awesome.
Very good. What's your game plan? When-
Wishes of the commission?
Thank you, Steve.
Continue to April 14th.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously continued to April 14th.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Do we have any bills?
So the first bill, I forgot to, do the payable request form with the accountants. So I would recommend that the commission take no action on that tonight.
Well, if you don't have a warrant for us, we got nothing to
Yeah,
consider anyway.
I mean, there's been times in the past where I've forgotten to do the payable request form.
Yep,
And
okay.
I just submit it and they do approve it, but I figured I would go through the proper channels on this one.
Has everybody had a chance to go over the minutes?
I did.
Any additions, omissions, corrections?
No, it was splendid.
I would ask Stephanie to add one thing. So on this Metacomet, the one we just did, but 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, I would just make a quick note on cases like that no discussion took place.
Okay.
Just,
It was continued from the beginning, right?
yeah. Yeah, it was basically just open to continue with no discussion having taken place.
Yeah.
That's all, that's the only thing that I can, other than that, they were fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's a good comment so that like the public understands
Yes,
that
extra clear.
like why it was just continued.
And that there was no conversation first.
Right, exactly,
Yeah, nothing happened. The applicant requested a continuance, no discussion happened, motion occurred.
Yeah, so there was,
Yep.
Anything else from anybody? Your wishes?
I move that we accept the minutes from the February 24th meeting.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes of February 24 are accepted as amended. Next up, we have the MVP 2.0.
So we're nearing the end here with the MVP 2.0 process. As stated on the agenda, we have 2 upcoming workshops that you guys are invited to attend, either or both. So the original MVP process in 2018, a group of people came together and created climate resilience priorities. And part of redoing our MVP process is creating new resilience priorities. So at these workshops, we will, like at the core team, which consists of me and Stephanie and a handful of other folks, we have created new climate resilience priorities. These new priorities encompass not only, like the original MVP process looked at a lot of infrastructural climate resilience priorities. like a townwide study of culverts, a townwide beaver study. One of them resulted in the replacement of the water tower that's right out here. This new MVP 2.0 process is not only looking at those, infrastructural priorities, but more like social resilience to climate change. So the core team has developed a set of new potential climate resilience priorities, and we are looking to vet them with the community. And so again, I am inviting you guys to come to one or both of these workshops. I have asked Steve's office to ask the department heads to distribute the invite to their respective boards and committees. There will be food, which is always fun. And so it's a very low-key kind of informal meeting discussion, but it's very important because these new climate resilience priorities are what we will be able to apply for MVP action grants for the foreseeable future, maybe for the next 10 years. For example, like just to give a little bit of extra context without getting into the amorphousness of what is MVP 2.0, which it has been amorphous because we're in the pilot round and the state nor us really know what we've been doing. We've been making it up as we've been going along. But for example, our original priorities were, one statement, like complete a culvert assessment in town. Our new resilience priorities, and I wish I had that example document, it's much more broader focused, where, and then there's action items underneath it that we can implement. So they're large scale, but also small scale. Again, the amorphousness is hard to explain, but I do have examples of resilience priorities that we've worked on developing. So please come, tell your friends, tell your families, bribe them as you need to. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we definitely want your guys' input.
Is there a virtual option for these at all or no?
No, they're solely in person.
Where?
Here.
Town hall.
Yep.
Okay.
I sent you guys the flyer last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both this Saturday and the following Wednesday will both be in the town hall auditorium. So if you can make it, we would love
Wait a
to
minute.
have your attendance.
No, we're good. Never mind.
Okay.
I had two things. First, thank you for selecting a range of times to make it available. Ultimately, that makes it available to a wider range of people, including those that have children. So thank you. That was one thing. The second thing, can you remind me, please? I'm so sorry if we covered this before. Can you remind me where's the funding for MVP coming from? Is it state or is it federal?
It is state funding
Okay, that's good.
through
So
the office of EEA. So
EEA,
environmental and
So it's Executive Officer of Environmental Affairs.
thank you.
Thank you.
The running list of acronyms is too much for me to keep in my brain.
I'm acronym
I
out
can't even
today,
imagine
so-
that.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that is great.
Well, this is a subject that's very near and dear to my heart, and I will share that. I'll be very brief. Communities will have a bigger and bigger role in climate adaptation moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future. So thank you for spearheading, and I look forward to participating.
Awesome. And also, I mean, people of all ages are welcome. Kids are welcome. Everybody's welcome. It's not just boards and committees, but again, tell your friends, bring your kids. I have been trying to get RSVPs. I know that RSVPs sound kind of like Like a lot of times, there's an RSVP option and you just show up because maybe we weren't planning on going and our schedule freed up or whatever. But just so we have a rough idea of how much food we need, give me a heads up. But, we'll make do either way. So
And is it, you show up at 10 and have to stay till 12 kind of thing, or is this come in like?
it's 10 till 12 on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
We try to keep it to a time frame so that, it doesn't end up, so that we can be respectful of everybody else's time on a Saturday or a Wednesday night.
Yep.
So,
Great.
yeah.
And is there, I know there was an email about it, but I'm not sure what the attachment was. Is there draft goals or priorities or anything for review ahead of time or no?
I have example priorities. As a core team, we just created our resilience priorities that we're going to present.
Okay.
We just created them last week. So I have example priorities and I can run and go get those documents.
And the purpose of the workshop is to solicit feedback to inform the finalization of the priorities?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Because in the guidance that we've gotten is that we want to settle on 10 resilience priorities.
10.
And and we've gotten creative with the language so that they're umbrella priorities with specific action items that we can apply for funding underneath them. But those resilience priorities are the only things that we can apply for MVP action funding for I believe the next 10 years. So it's different from our original MVP planning where again the action item was get funding for a culvert prioritization plan. This is much more, those action items are so underneath. Those one-liners are so underneath the umbrella categories, but they are more overarching. So we tried to structure them so that we wouldn't pigeonhole ourselves from not being eligible for funding for something that's still super valid, but may not necessarily, I don't want to say fit, but we tried to leave ourselves as open to opportunity as possible.
Got it.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. Like I said, when I mean this is amorphous, I mean it totally is. And from what I've heard, the state has totally changed the entire program for next year because again, we're in the pilot round. So we've been trying to figure it out as we go along, which has been a real blast.
Okay. Next is acceptance of Woods Edge, portion of Jason's Way.
So DPW approached us asking for the commission's recommendation on whether or not to accept this roadway at upcoming town meeting. And what I can say is that a complete certificate of compliance was issued by the commission in 2019, actually. So it was just recorded not too long ago in 2023, but it's, the DPW is looking for the commission's recommendations and
I tell them we closed on it.
We issued a COC. I think they're looking for a more formal recommendation now, kind of like a right of first refusal.
I guess I don't get it. What would we do? We just tell them, yeah.
I don't know. Normally just, we issued the COC, so, and it got recorded. So I'm going to ask though, since back then, all the stormwater plans were reviewed and implemented by us. Where do we stand on that?
Something that you think
Are
that
they up to date on the maintenance?
road name should be apostrophe S. That's what
Who
I think.
knows?
because that was done by the board. There was no separate,
Yeah,
so
and DPW would have maybe already looked at that too.
I would assume they have, but I'm not,
Because I know
if
they
they're,
did. For
but that would have been under our purview when that application came through the year. That was us.
So
That wasn't them.
Are you
that would
interested
have
in looking at
been
this, David?
counted for under the COC as well, right? Like you wouldn't maybe issue
No,
a COC
not
if
really,
you hadn't had
because
that done.
at that point, the COC would have been, did they build it to plans? And
Not actually.
everything
has it been
stable?
maintained. Yeah.
yes,
I would say, Sarah, did DPW say anything about?
because
if
it wasn't
stormwater
accepted,
has
it
been
wasn't our
maintained or
concern.
not? Because I know DPW did take note that Woodland Lane, the basins haven't been maintained.
I don't even know where that is.
Off the Broadway.
I do not,
Old,
Oh, that
what the old. I would say DPW might have already did that inspection.
I don't
They
remember.
wouldn't take it before.
I don't remember. The COC was issued before I came to Belchertown, so I have
No, but I mean, wouldn't DPW do a inspection or ask for maintenance logs before it's
they would be asking probably.
I think they would.
You
I
see,
think they
but you
would.
see, we would have
I don't-
issued the conditions on that.
I don't know
Yeah, yes, but
because
still,
it
it's in
was,
their best interest, obviously.
Oh,
to not
obviously.
Take over a project.
But that's why the recommendations are coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough, it wasn't built to
Yep.
plan, and when it wasn't enough that everything was stable.
Yep. Has it been maintained since then? Who knows?
Well,
a good
that's
question.
the part we
That's a
need
good
to
question.
figure out.
Yeah, that's a good
You know,
question.
I feel like
I would
that's
say
why they
that's
were
a shared
asking
responsibility.
us, but I don't know that that email even went to you.
It
I
did
think
not
it
go to
only
me.
came to me.
Yeah.
And I don't handle the stormwater.
So my point is that would have all been part of our plans, and as long as it was built to plan, that's what we would have signed off on the COC.
Yeah.
But, the maintenance issues
Mhm.
before the town takes over that's, at this point, I would say that's a shared responsibility between us and DPW.
Yep, that's a
So
good
as long
question.
as one of us checks it, that's
Yeah,
fine,
yeah,
but it needs to
yeah.
get done.
Yes.
And we can't assume that they're taking care of it.
So I guess, I mean, we have time to kind of table this for now. Then. Double check if we want.
Yeah, we're gonna have to double check within the next couple of weeks because the ATM warrant is due like next week or something.
Okay.
So
And
they're gonna put that on. I don't believe,
I actually think that the stormwater.
a lot of things can be
would have
withdrawn right on the
fallen
floor.
under- I also think that the stormwater maintenance may, because this one's from, 05, that the stormwater probably would have fallen under planning board at the time and not us. And even.
Well, we would have reviewed all the drainage calcs and everything else.
Yeah, as far as, like you said, as far as the site plan is concerned. But like I said, the order or the certificate of compliance for this was issued in 2019, and I don't know why, but it was. We
That
have
sounds like when Erica was here.
yeah, we have a preliminary as-built, and that's about it.
Oh, we don't even,
And I don't even think the DPW, like with Woodland Lane, DPW went out last year and did an entire inspection and came up with a whole punch list.
Yeah, that's why I want
They have not given us a punch list for either Woods Edge or Hickory Hills. Like, those two are good as far as compliance with the order of conditions, but as far as stormwater, I don't have those records.
okay, well, that's fine,
Yeah, subdivisions, so complicated.
so who's looking for this, DPW or
DPW,
is looking for this?
yep. I would say my recommendation would be to make no recommendation for this or Hickory Hills.
Well, do you need something on record tonight if we absolutely have to have it?
Yeah, could you say you motion to recommend if stormwater inspections have been done or something?
Pending any
Like-
contraindicating new information coming forward. But I think they're just gonna put it on, I think they'll put it on the town meeting warrant. If they need to pull it back later, they will. I mean, they put the placeholder out there right now, regardless.
Yeah, because I don't really know what the status of Hickory Hills is either.
I know
They have a CFC. There wasn't.
We've
there
issued a
was
CFC
stormwater
for the
issue
whole
that-
project now?
the administrative consent order from DEP has been lifted and we issued a COC last year.
Yeah,
For
that's what I
Hickory
remember. And that was for both, that's for both crossings, the whole
The whole kit and
project, the whole kit and
caboodle.
caboodle.
I don't.
So wait a minute, so, well, if we issued the COC, we issued the COC. I was gonna say there was still, so that project is completely built out, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know why. I didn't
Scott
notice.
Nielsen, I still remember that night. We pushed like 30 or 40 NOIs through in like 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah,
Because it was all part of the bigger, he did like one massive NOI.
Yeah, the
And we
roadway.
did like 30 or 40 houses.
The roadway is separate from the houses, which is
Yeah.
kind of nice.
So that was 2 NOIs?
for Hickory Hills, I thought it was just one.
If you go back,
No, one of them, it wasn't the project bought out by somebody else.
I'm only aware of one.
so it may have been, I don't remember, but if you could find the records, you will, or find the minutes that far back and go and look. They did one NOI that covered like every house, and we're not talking the road now, we're talking one NOI covered all the applicable lots that were inside the 100. And there was 20, 30, 40 house lots that were all covered under one NOI.
Yeah, I'm pretty
And
sure.
we
it was
massed,
one of them.
we pushed them through in either 1 or 2 nights.
No.
No. So every house was tied to one.
Because we've done, those weren't partial COCs we've done.
No, there's been a, I think.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I think the roadway was permanent separate.
I think it was too. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I think that was. And then I thought some home lots were permanent. individual.
I'm just making sure that there's no cross.
Oh, yeah, I think the roadway was done. But good to double check.
Yeah, we need,
So I guess I'm just a little confused.
okay,
So these recommendations, these are recommendations to the town,
The DPW.
the DPW, as to where we stand on clearing them from the commission's perspective. Is that correct?
Yeah.
yes.
And that includes not only the NOIs, but also the stormwater?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so my understanding from listening to your discussion is that the NOIs have been pretty much taken care of at this point for all 3 of these?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out on Hickory Hill.
Okay, Hickory Hill may be an exception. And we're not at all sure about what the stormwater maintenance issues has been on all 3 of them?
Correct.
Yeah. I
And
have not personally seen, I have not seen any logs.
so there needs to be an inspection possibly of the,
Potentially.
And it potentially, but
Maybe
it's
DPW
probably
did.
going to be something that DPW takes care
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
But we were part of that permitting process.
okay. All
Yeah,
right,
Hickory Hills, I think is all one subdivision.
You know, for our part is where the catch basin's put in the right place and things like that. But we weren't responsible for making sure that they cleaned them every year, if that's what the management plan said. You know, that sort of thing, the maintenance plan, I should say. But, you know, obviously the town's not going to want to accept them if the builder hasn't kept up with the maintenance of you know, the stormwater structures.
Okay, and that will be DPW's responsibility to find out about these records and deciding whether they're.
We're going to assume that, but we're not, I mean, but until we actually hear that, we're not going to
Okay,
totally
all right.
sign off on it.
So part of the conversation or exchange would be, what is the NOI situation? Again, what I'm hearing from you, Sarah, is that all the NOIs have been taken care of in these
For Woods Edge, Jason's Way, and Hickory Hills, the COCs have been issued. From a wetlands standpoint.
Right.
With Woodland Lane, it was DPW who went out last year and looked at all the stormwater with respect to the roadway drainage and created an entire punch list of things to do. So that would not happen through us.
Okay.
Because that's roadway specific.
But the
Whereas-
NOI is all set, Woodland Lane?
No.
I don't think we had
That
a
is the number one that I will say, that my
Yeah,
recommendation
right.
to the commission is to recommend that the town not accept that.
Woodland Lane. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
The
Okay.
other two,
Yeah, it'll
take
depend
no
on the
action,
stormwater.
but Woodland Lane, definitely not. The punch list was made in February of last year. We have heard nothing from the developer. There is no way the town is accepting that road.
So-
There is a litany of issues with that.
Okay, so maybe I can summarize by saying there needs to be a conversation with DPW about maintenance of stormwater structures in the first two, Woods Edge and Hickory Hill.
3.
And then Woodland Lane, at this point,
There might be no update from
No.
a year from now, but we could double check.
they shouldn't,
I've heard from
Put that
Doug
forward.
that there has been we have not heard from the developer on Woodland Lane in over a year.
Oh, like they didn't even respond, so they obviously didn't do the work.
Yeah. But, as far as, again, with the previous two, we don't do those stormwater inspections.
No, we
That's
don't.
within
It's
the
not
roadway.
our,
So the certificates of compliance for those two subdivisions have been issued. I've provided those to DPW. It's up to them to go out and inspect the roadway and see if it's within.
oh, absolutely.
If it complies with their requirements for acceptance.
all right, so given this discussion, what do we need to send to DPW? An email, or does it have to be an actual memo, or what do we need to send it?
We would send a formal memo, but as far as, I've already sent DPW the certificates of compliance for Woods Edge / Jason's Way, Fortune Oak, and Hickory Hills. So they have those, but Donna was asking for formal recommendations at meetings.
Well, can't we just
So,
say that as far as we're concerned,
here's what we're going to do. We're
Right.
going to have a motion that we authorize Sarah to send to DPW that the Woods Edge, Jason's Way, and Hickory Hills have met all the requirements for the issuance of COCs. And that from our perspective, that the projects were built according, and we've signed off on, that they were constructed in accordance with the
NOI.
NOIs that were applicable.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Sure.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then with Woodland Lane, I would recommend that the commission make a formal recommendation to not
So
accept that road.
are there any outstanding filings with this commission?
Yes.
So,
But this is specific to the roadway, which,
so was it, what parts of the filings were applicable to that project? Was it just house lots or was
just
it?
house lots, as far as I'm
So the
aware.
roadway itself, there was no filings concerning the roadway itself.
Not for wetlands.
So that's what I would tell them. I would just say, that the road itself, it was not under our jurisdiction. And just, and as far as as far as we know, there is nothing about its existence right now that's encroaching on any of our,
Well, I mean,
what? That's not true?
That's not true.
Okay, then with,
Well, I don't know. Oh, it might be outside the flags. 100 foot.
what are you talking about, the stump
There's
dump?
a stump dump.
So that's a completely separate issue besides the roadway.
Right, 'cause
so
the
is
roadway
the
wasn't
stump
under our
dump was
jurisdiction.
part of construction?
The stump dump is on the open space parcel, which is why
Our
Deep in
open
the-
space?
our open space parcel, which is
They
one of
did
the
that?
many- yes, which is
So
one of the
there you
many
go.
issues
That's the issue.
So
of
the roadway itself is not our jurisdiction, but
But absolutely, as part of this construction process, if they've encroached on our open space within so that's almost bordering on an enforcement issue.
I've already looked at it. It's not a wetlands buffer zone issue. It is. So, okay, so it's not our open space parcel. It is the open space parcel. That parcel has not been conveyed to the town because the subdivision's not done yet. So,
oh, so it's planning board's problem.
so it's just part of the punch list. They're just looking for a recommendation. And I guess your recommendation is on point that the roadway has nothing to do with wetlands jurisdiction. So why?
But I certainly would, if they've dumped, as part of the construction process, if they've dumped within the 100,
They haven't.
they have, it's outside the 100?
I looked at it last year, yeah. I did. But it is dumping on the open space parcel. The parcel that is supposed to be conveyed to the town has not been conveyed to the town. It's one of DPW's litany of the punch list of things that they need to do to bring the roadway and the rest of the subdivision into compliance for acceptance.
So is this a parcel that this board is ultimately going to get
Possibly.
control of?
Possibly, yeah.
So then I would, even if we send that, I would still make a note that right now, the parcel would seem destined to be controlled by this board as the open space for this project has been encroached upon.
Linda freaked out about it, or maybe that's not the right word, but she was very explicit about her findings in this punch list. So, but again, maybe to your point, the roadway wasn't permitted under wetlands jurisdiction, so no recommendation may be needed.
But our jurisdiction would
That
come
can
into
be
play.
the recommendation.
So I don't know if acceptance of the road means an acceptance of the project as a whole. That's why, that's my question mark, is that if this parcel is destined to come under the town and or the Concom's control.
Oh, the town won't accept it if the open space parcel stump dump hasn't been fixed.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
there's
you-
that. But that was part of the total package.
It was a planning board requirement.
So as part of the total package, there is an issue.
Yeah,
But very specifically to the road itself, we had nothing really to say about it.
that's why these subdivisions make my brain hurt. So, I don't know, no.
I mean, in my head,
no
it's clear.
recommendation.
In my head, it's very clear. Putting it on paper could be another.
Right.
honestly,
Say makes no recommendation.
I'm like,
and
it's safer
state.
to not make a recommendation, probably. Is, if, unlike other subdivisions, it doesn't.
In fact, I think that's exactly what I would say. We have no issues with the road itself, but as part of the total package, is because that open space would have been part of the total package, and, potentially this commission would be the caretaker of that lot. There are issues.
Yeah.
And on that basis alone, we would recommend against it.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a separate memo? Or is that going to be in the?
They'll all be separate memos.
Okay.
I mean, does everybody understand what I was?
Yeah, in general, we don't need to.
We have no issues with the road, but as part of the total plan, we do have this issue.
Okay.
DPW can address the roadway issues themselves.
Do we need another vote, Ed?
I would. Just to be formal.
Yeah, it's separate.
All right, I move that we send a memo with what are the issues involved with Woodland Lane.
Second.
Any discussion?
Don't want to beat you.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Moving forward.
Okay. We're going to cut ahead and let's get rid of all the voting done right now. And let's skip ahead to a COC for 546 Federal.
The applicant requested a continuance until the next meeting.
Oh,
Because upon entering the site, there is an unpermitted dock. And one of the conditions in the order of conditions was to obtain a permit for said dock. So she is going to be speaking to her husband about whether or not they want to permit the dock or remove it. The dock is seasonal and can be removed, but
it's in the water now?
it is. But the
Wow.
Chapter 91 Public Waterfront Act does not distinguish between seasonal and non-seasonal docks.
Well, I know. I'm just thinking of a practical point of view. Docks
So-
get destroyed by ice.
Well, yeah, so they're looking to sell the property. So again, they're going to discuss internally whether they want to permit the dock or just pull it out and tell prospective buyers that they have to get it permitted.
So I'll make a motion. We continue to, what would you like to continue it to?
The next meeting, March
24th? All right, to continue to March 24th.
Well, actually, we're not actually continuing. All we're really doing is we're taking no action.
Okay.
Because they will just keep putting it on the agenda.
Okay, so do we know?
There's no public hearing involved. So it's going to be a motion to just take no action.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so who did the site visit on that? So out of curiosity, is there still ice in the lake or is it open water now?
Oh, there's ice.
Sarah did the inspection.
I know, I didn't know if
I
she
don't
said
know.
anything. Okay, but I imagine in 2 more weeks with the weather we're having, it will be open water.
Oh, it'll be open soon.
Yeah, that was more of curiosity than anything else. So in the meantime, there's a forest cutting plan for Jucket. I assume it's going to be somehow connected with that filing we did. Last fall regarding the max on the power line. No, it's not connected to that. Never mind. Me bad. But it's still the same general area. It's still the same general area.
Where's Jucket Hill Road?
Off of Allen Road, right, very close to the corner of Allen. And it generally proceeds northerly, parallel to the power lines, and next access probably would go across the end of Kimball and would come out on Packardville Road on the road into Gate 8. There is a continuous road through there. It just, most of it's in state property, but inside the,
You need a four-wheeler. The road
last time I was on
basically
it, you didn't. You could
ends-
travel
road
it.
Dead ends in about a half a mile. Jucket.
I've traveled all the way down to the gate. I've traveled from the Packardville all the way to the Barway at Jucket. No, DCR crews travel that regularly. We were chasing a brush fire one day. And,
But I wasn't gonna take my Prius on it, tell you that.
no. Well, yeah, you can't anyway, because I'm sure you don't have a key to the gate. Anyway, here, I'll send that around. Anybody wants to look at it. Where'd she go?
She's running around.
Well, basically, all we got left is Earth Day.
Earth Day. Yeah, so Earth Day, Saturday, April 26th, from 10 to 1 p.m. We're looking to do like a townwide trash cleanup event. I have a couple distinct locations that I'll be sending people out, like volunteers that show up. Be sending people out again to distinct locations to pick up trash. This payable was for the Earth Day dumpster. So there's that. I've been working with the Energy and Sustainability Committee and DPW. DPW is gonna be providing tree seedlings, native tree seedlings, to volunteers. We're also partnering with the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts. So the Cub Scouts are going to run a mini cannon bottle drive as part of the event. And then the Boy Scouts are going to be part of the cleanup crew. I've been working on soliciting donations. I'm looking to get donations for food and things like that from local businesses. So yeah, the event, like the trash cleanup, if you will, dumpster, and come and get gloves and trash bags will be located at the town common. Same thing with the cannon bottle drive. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of low key, kind of come as you will, do what you want. We have a rain date scheduled for the following day on Sunday. So we worked really hard to pick the right date, and there's a lot of conflicts and things of that nature. So this is kind of the best date that we could pick. Question?
Might want to make sure that the Boy Scouts have monitored the lean-to in Jablish Brook Conservation Area, because that can really get messy.
Oh, the Adirondack.
Good to know.
Yeah, it can be trash. I haven't seen it since spring, and it was in pretty decent shape in the spring, but by now, last spring.
That was rebuilt a few years ago.
Good to know.
You just mean like trash or like graffiti?
Trash.
Yeah, trash, beer cans and a Boy Scout, but just general trash.
Yeah. Yeah, we
I'm trying to remember whose project that was.
I think it was Boy Scout cabin.
No, it was. No, but it was rebuilt as one of the Scouts, the Eagle Scout projects a few years back, and I'm trying to think which Scout it was.
Yeah, the structure seems to be in pretty decent
Yeah,
shape.
it was, I want to say 17 or 18. It was completely rebuilt.
Yeah, so me and via the commission I'm sure you guys have known that the DPW would do some sort of trash cleanup, like go to the DPW, grab some trash bags, like the week of Earth Day, kind of go out wherever, and then you could bring the green bags to the transfer station. But we've transitioned from that, hence the dumpster rental. Because there was concerns about, people just getting the green trash bags and bringing them to the transfer station with their own household trash. We want to avoid that. So, this is year 2 of kind of having a town-wide trash cleanup. And the team I'm working with, we thought, I love partnering with the scouts on anything that I could do. But we thought by doing a can and bottle drive, it would help bring more people out to our cleanup. There's also going to be local friends groups and committees there tabling.
River to the Sea.
Hmm?
River to the Sea does the cleanup of Lake Wallace.
Oh, I thought you mean Source to Sea cleanup?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that
I
happens in
participated.
September. The Source to Sea cleanup is in September.
Well, it was on Earth Day last year.
Last year, so that was done around Earth Day, but that was Friends of Lake Wallace. That's a friends group. They'll be having a table with us. We'll also have a table by Friends of the Belchertown Greenway for the Mass Central Rail Trail, and a couple other local boards and committees so that residents can come out and get some local information and resources about environmentally friendly things. So, get ready to pick up trash on April 26th. Yeah, so, and if this year isn't successful, then we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, because and it's it can be a pricey event without donations and stuff like that. And if it flops, then what is the point? So, I've done it in Palmer, like the last one that I did, I had 60 attendees. I filled a 30 yard. I filled the biggest dumpster that I could. It was amazing. But, that also was almost 10 years in the making. So these things take time to gain traction. But we love, again, partnering with the Scouts, and a can and bottle drive is a perfect way to also help them raise money and do good for the environment. So, we're trying something new, and we're here for it.
Great. Can I bring up another issue?
Sure.
So Will has been a member of the Conservation Commission for a while.
And his name is not on the website, I know.
Thank you.
I emailed our communications coordinator about it, not last week, maybe the week before, maybe 3 weeks ago. So, since we've migrated to this new website platform and we have a communications coordinator, our permissions on editing the website have gone to almost nothing. So I can't make that edit myself.
Are you prevented from it? You don't have access, or?
Zero
Okay,
access.
so remind me. What's next Wednesday?
I just want him on the hook. That's all.
No. Remind me next
Mike's
week.
there.
No.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
This week.
No,
It's this week.
tried, I swear.
No.
I
Send
understand.
me an email tomorrow night or Wednesday morning. I will take that up personally. I will take that up personally.
So I've sent 2 emails out about it already. One to somebody else, and then I was directed to her.
I don't like to be the source of conflict.
Don't worry about it.
No, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it in the slightest.
No. It just, these updates should be done on.
On a regular basis.
No,
Or
absolutely.
if they can't be, then the powers that
We
be
should
that
have
sit
the
in the
power.
seats should actually have access to do our own updates. on
But,
the
but
website.
somehow
So-
y'all are able to upload the documents. I don't understand that. Is it just
So-
a separate interface?
Makes
Anyway.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all separate, I guess.
I think we're done.
Just one last thing, I see no update on 20 Summit. So I am going to ask, what is it we're waiting for on Summit? Is it a,
Conversations that we had the
Restoration
last time
plan,
that
is that
was,
what we're
that
waiting for?
Amanda was here and there was,
The restoration plan was
comments on the
approved.
restoration plan?
It was approved.
Was
though,
it
I believe.
approved?
Yeah.
so
Then
that's
it
what
doesn't
I'm
have to be
asking.
on here.
If it's on here, there must be still something outstanding. So what is it?
I don't remember.
She was gonna confirm if a couple requested edits were okay with the resident, I believe.
And I haven't heard from her since.
Wonder if she's still involved.
Exactly, so I mean, then it's on here, it all says there's still something outstanding. Let's see if there's a possibility of clearing that up.
I will do my best.
You know what I'm saying?
Get it off the agenda.
Yeah, exactly. If it's still here, there's probably a reason why it's still here.
Yeah,
and
no,
it's just,
Stephanie's right. There was a couple requested edits to Amanda's proposed restoration plan, so I'll reach out to her.
if
I
it's just
may
a
not
couple of minor
have-
things, let's get it done.
Yeah, I may not have any movement on it before our next meeting.
That's
because
fine.
After this meeting, I have 6 more meetings this week, one of
Okay.
which is on a Saturday.
Okay.
So, well, we know about this, 3:15. So
Well,
I'm gonna be a little bit out of the office this week. Well, I'll just be in here or in there. But anyways,
New shoes, man?
No.
Okay,
Bill,
that,
do you have anything?
now I
to add?
think,
Did you want to say something?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, it's all been said.
Cool.
It's all good.
okay,
Thank you.
so we have cleared out the agenda unless anybody has something else.
I have
Okay,
an announcement.
Nice.
I talked to Kathleen. I talked to Kathleen today from Summer Hill that was here not last
Oh,
week,
yes.
the one before. Now that the snow has melted, she requested a site visit to the restoration area.
okay, so right now, our main guy is,
Okay, so we can fill him in, but for everybody else, it's the 21st at 2, if anybody else is interested.
oh, you already made a date?
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Oh, geez.
Well,
I'm away
go.
in
Yeah,
Texas
so that's,
on the 21st and I'm a resident.
that's a Friday
Okay.
at
It's a
2?
Friday at 2. That is our,
That's our joint
So-
inspection hours
so,
are Fridays
well, that
from
may
1 to
be.
4.
But in this case, if you could just throw up the plan somewhere so we can get at it, we might do it, Dave and I might do it on the weekend. So,
I mean, we
I mean, right now, Dave's not even,
we
Right.
have
I
no
can't even be
new
consulted.
plan. We were just looking at the
I
wetland
just talked to
replication
her on the
area.
phone today,
Yeah.
so.
so yeah, you know what? We'll get to it when we get to it. There's nothing burning about this.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to understand that this is not we got to get this done tomorrow.
But we appreciate that they want to make steps to get.
We do,
CFC
for sure.
After so many
For
years.
sure, but, we'll make damn sure that we'll get done before fall. I mean, but it's not have to get this done tomorrow. Okay, anything else? Hearing none.
Motion
A motion
to adjourn.
to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned till the next meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.